Check a 1, 2. We're live. We're hot. The mic is hot.
Good.
The mic is hot. We got Michael Crump in the chat. NOW. What's up?
Up.
All right. Let's see here.
Starting to fill up just a tad in here.
See the notifications coming in.
Yes.
Which is cool.
We are live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Oops, not Instagram. YouTube.
Yeah.
Yes. Today will be a really good episode. What's up, Jacob C? How you doing?
So you want to introduce this?
Okay, so hi everyone. It's Ashley and Nandi. You're watching Freedom Soup Box, and we are going to watch an episode of biohacking from Forbidden Knowledge, and the people speaking is Elisabeth and Billy Carson. If you don't know who they are, Billy Carson and Elisabeth, well, Billy Carson is the president of Forbidden Knowledge, and he how would you describe? Well, you go visit his channel because he provides tons of information. I feel like a lot of what he does on his own has a lot to do with ancient Egypt. He does a lot of research on ancient Egypt, as well as aliens, extraterrestrials, UFOs, stuff like that. He's part of, what is this group called? Well, anyway, go look him up. He has a lot of information out there. If you're into that kind of thing, then he's your guy, because he is very, very thorough with his research. He always posts or provides people with where he's getting his information as well, so I feel like he's very credible. And Elisabeth is his wife or fiance. I'm not sure if they have got married yet, but she is, her thing is about biohacking and getting over trauma, and getting over, or just conquering your mind overall. I feel like I guess that would generally be her thing if I were to put it down in one sense. So usually together they do this show called Biohacking, or Biohacking Your Best Life, and they normally have discussions about how one can, have their best life.
It's
channel your best, healthiest self.
Check them out. Forbidden Knowledge. It's a network. And we're going to react to this. Let's dive right in.
How you doing, everybody?
Yeah.
Another episode of Biohack Your Best Life.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be doing some interviewing today.
Yeah.
I'm going to be interviewing Mr. Billy Carson today on Biohack Your Best Life. Yes. What's good, Dijon? What's good, Mr. Rhodes? Plant-based. Sincerely, Noah. What's up? And it's filling up now.
Yeah. It's going to be cool.
Yes. So today we are talking about ancient healing techniques, ancient biohacks back in the day that the Anunnaki used to use.
Yeah.
And I personally don't know really anything about it except for what you've told me.
Yeah.
So today I'm going to be doing a little bit of interviewing, which I
Yes.
think I'm pretty good at. Like my other
Absolutely.
job,
Yeah.
I'm a host for Rolling Out. So
That's what you do.
yes.
Yes.
I'm going to interview you today.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So today we're going to talk about the ancient Anunnaki and some of the ancient techniques they left behind.
Yes.
That were biohacking techniques, healing techniques.
Right, and they had much more advanced technology than we do nowadays,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So what were some of the things, or just say a little blurb, like introduce what they used to do a little bit, and then I'll
Yeah.
ask you more specific questions.
Right, that's good. See, so the Anunnaki, it's important to know that the Anunnaki, who they are. So the Anunnaki themselves are actually, according to the ancient texts, scriptures, cylinder scrolls, found around the world, not just in Mesopotamia, which is now modern-day Iraq, not just in ancient Kemet, which is now modern-day Egypt, not just in Mesoamerica, which is now modern-day Mexico and the Yucatan, but these people their tablets, their information, their writings have been found all around the planet. The locals who really worshiped these people because they had advanced technology, they weren't really gods. They masqueraded. Some of them masqueraded as gods.
Let me ask you real quick. So their technology, did they only use that on themselves? They never helped, the people?
It varied.
heal
Yeah, in
people?
some ways they use it. In some occasions it got to some people, but not a lot, not the masses. And so these beings came here from, according to these texts, from another planet. And so they came here with this advanced knowledge of plant life and herbs and medicines. They even brought, we found the very, very first account of how to brew beer 8,000 years ago in ancient Sumeria. And Sumerians say that the Anunnaki brought them the knowledge and wisdom on how to brew beer. They gave them the exact instructions and the technology to create a brewery.
Wow.
In ancient times.
So did they do that because they liked, getting drunk, or did they do that? Yeah.
They like getting drunk. They like drunk.
This is like because they like getting drunk.
Yeah, so I guess ancient aliens, the Anunnaki like to get drunk.
It's fascinating because this is like
We learned this from our...
Yeah, this is knowledge being passed down from a whole different species of human. Would you call them human?
I don't know if we can call them human. Maybe.
No, we can't call them human because human is Homo sapiens. It's just our species.
Right.
They are
Anunnaki, or they're extraterrestrial
extraterrestrial
species.
aliens.
Call them aliens, whatever you want to call them, but at least make a distinction between us and them, because we're not necessarily the same. We came from them, but
We're gonna
we're not
find
them.
out more.
The taste of beer, or
Yeah.
was it some health benefit there? Or
Yeah, no, they just like to drink. Yeah. Yeah,
So you would have thought that they would have, drank more liquor and stuff that was stronger, so they could just get quickly drunk, right?
I don't know. They just love beer. And they not only love beer, but they love the process of the perfection of brewing and perfecting the hops and perfecting the brewing process.
Yeah.
That was something that was it was like traditional for them on their supposed home planets, and they brought that to Earth. And that's not Billy Carson saying this. These are in ancient tablets. What I'm telling you, you can Google it, and you'll find the corresponding Sumerian tablets that actually have this information in it. It's not my idea. It didn't come off the top of my head. This information that I'm saying right now actually came from Sumerian tablets left behind and have been dated back thousands of years.
So do you think that our healing methods of today are just regenerated from their beginning, the technology and healing methods from back then?
Absolutely.
We're just remembering kind of or did it get passed down?
It got passed down. It really did get passed down. A lot of the medicine men and the healers and the sages and the bushmen and the medicine men from ancient indigenous tribes then taught that to colonizers and people that came into their regions or continents, and then it got taken and taught in their own homelands. And so it just kept on. The caduceus, which you can find the caduceus, which is the intertwining snakes, is a symbol of medicine.
Oh, that's where that came from.
Yeah, I told you. Didn't I tell you the other day? Something? Yeah.
The Sumerian language was developed in ancient Mesopotamia and is the oldest known written language. The language was written in a script known as cuneiform, which was later adapted by the languages that emerged in Mesopotamia.
Go back to the images.
And this is your turpentwined serpents that symbolizes medicine, healthcare.
Yeah, you've seen it. Why is this? Oh my god,
What
because
did
you're
you do?
controlling it.
No, I didn't do it. What were you trying to do?
I'm trying to add. There you go. That's what he's talking about. This is where that came from. Okay. Do you want to play it now?
Yeah, go
That goes all the way back to super ancient times.
Really?
We're talking the latest account that we know of. I mean, the oldest account that we know of is the ones from the Sumerian tablets, where they depict that. But there's even an older story which goes back into the land of Kim, and it's dealing with Horus and Osiris and Isis.
Mm.
And it's a fight that actually happened with Osiris, where Osiris actually was dismembered. His body was taken apart.
Oh yeah, the story. Yeah.
Right, yeah. But it's this whole story, but it goes all the way back to that. And so Horus ended up becoming the god of healing.
Horus was really.
Yeah, Horus.
Oh
yeah.
wow, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
something new. Okay.
Yeah.
Horus is the falcon.
Yes,
Yes,
the falcon.
okay.
Correct. Yeah. And then that symbol, that Kedusha symbol, was adopted, and that became the medicine symbol in super ancient times.
Wow.
And it's lasted all the way through until today.
Yeah, I see it. I see it all
Yeah.
around everywhere, actually.
Mhm.
But it's just that thing in passing. You don't really notice it, but
Yeah.
you know it's there.
Right.
Yeah.
What's interesting, real quick, we
What
watched
is
the movie with
I'm not sure I even recognize what
Liam
you're
Neeson.
talking about.
Yeah.
The Falcon.
Falcon. I don't know if this is. Oh, there you go.
Oh, that. What, the stuff at the top of it?
Yeah. Yeah. So we don't even really think about it, but yeah.
and he was in a hospital at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was in the hospital in that movie we just watched,
Yeah.
the Kedusha was on that
Really?
screen, that
You
glass.
noticed? Oh man,
I
I
said, there
didn't
it goes.
even, didn't
Yeah,
even notice.
it's everywhere. Still here
Wow.
today.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing.
What movie?
I mean, it would really make sense too that technology from back in the day. How did we even get these ideas to use biohacking technology?
Yeah.
Like this ring tells me, what levels of sleep I get into.
Yeah.
How does this little tiny ring tell me what type of sleep I get into?
Mhm.
So this technology
She's
is
got an aura
is-
ring.
I mean, it's advanced for my consciousness right
Right.
now, but back then I'm sure they had way more,
Yeah.
just way more, advanced technology.
If you look at depictions of these beings and a lot of the reliefs and the stone etchings
Mhm.
and the cylinder scrolls left behind, you find that they all seem to be wearing something that looked technological.
Mm.
They had what looked like wristwatches.
Mhm.
They all carried a case. No matter where you go in the world, you'll see these beings, and they're all been etched holding this case with this thing coming out of the case in some situations where it's connected to something on their body.
Mhm.
You see that some of their top parts or their breastplate, what they call it in text, appear to be technological by design.
Mm.
And some even had what looked like full-on head masks or full helmets,
Right.
right? And
Kind of like
it's
Halo, that new show that is out.
right? Just
Kind
like
of like
that.
Halo. And you
Just
guys
like that.
check out Halo, the new show that's out. It's dope.
Amazon Prime.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Should we
crazy.
check
So it's
out
pretty
Halo?
interesting.
Yeah, we gotta
So
watch it.
you can
Okay.
see how a less advanced civilization would see these beings
Uh-huh.
and see all this technology, and it appeared to be magic.
Mm.
And so to them, these were gods.
Yeah,
But in
yeah.
actuality, they weren't gods. They just had more advanced knowledge and a higher level of technology.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's how they fool you, right? That's
Yeah.
how they fool you.
Yeah.
What show is that? I think it was Star Trek. Was it a Star Trek episode when they came out of the sky and the people, us basically, and then went to a place where they were not really really homegrown people, like they didn't.
Oh yeah, that was Star Trek. They went to a planet named Nibiru, which is in the ancient Sumerian tablets.
Yeah.
They
Uh-huh.
took that whole thing, even the red color of the planet,
Uh-huh.
that comes out of the Sumerian tablets. So they went to this planet that orbits a brown dwarf called Nibiru, which is in the Enuma Elish in the seven tablets of creation.
You know what's really fascinating is that now that I'm learning about a lot of this, I'm learning a lot of information about, ETs and these other planets and these other civilizations that came to Earth. And it's like things are adding up. People who've been writing books and creating movies in Hollywood, they already knew about this stuff. And all they did was make entertainment out of
They
it.
made entertainment, and it
God!
was flying off of a lot of people's heads.
We were just like, wow, what imagination! This is crazy. But no, they were all inspired by
Ancient knowledge.
Ancient knowledge. So what does that mean? Did they not really believe that there was any truth to this? Or did they just go like, oh, you know what? This is cool history, boy. Let's put this in a movie. That'll be fun.
No. The fact is that a lot of these writers were historians. They're very smart people. They're very well-read people. It's the rest of us who are not well-read. These books have existed forever.
I know.
We just don't read them.
God.
They've read them and they distilled it into a movie, and that's why those movies did very well. And a lot of the symbols and a lot of the messages just flew right over our heads. We cared about the entertainment value.
Right.
Till today, I'm still figuring out all the symbols and messages in Lion King.
That's where we are.
I forgot the exact name of that Star Trek movie. It was a movie.
Oh, it's a movie.
Yeah, and they went there and they encountered these indigenous culture. They tried to hide themselves the best they could, but they ended up getting seen. And when they took off in their ship, it created a cargo cult, and those beings, those people, indigenous culture, started worshiping them as gods immediately. Immediately, and that's exactly what happens all the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. So then they started.
That's why a lot of these advanced civilizations have a prime directive. The prime directive is to not interfere with less advanced civilizations before they reach a certain state.
Right. There was another. It was a different show. That was a movie.
Yeah.
I remember that movie. But there was a different show when the lady came down and she healed the little girl with her technology.
Yeah.
She had this little laser and this girl had a cut and she took her laser and was like, zzz, and it healed the girl.
Right.
And then she came back, I think a year later or something, and there were statues of her everywhere.
But that was another space movie, another space TV series. It was so good though.
Crazy, because all this stuff was it was in Black Panther as well. Like they used technology to heal wounds, and also in E.T. the movie. The fact that all these messages were all in the movies, like we just said, but we just didn't get it.
Yeah.
We just didn't get it.
Exactly.
They've been telling us this stuff all along. We just need to read a lot. You know, there's been that thing where they said that if you want to keep information from people, put it in a book, because no one ever bothers. No one bothers. We don't have time.
Too.
It was good.
But yeah, so it showed that one encounter with that girl and some other people witnessing what happened created another cargo cult on another planet.
Yeah. Which
is why they also had a rule.
You know, there are also cargo cults that aren't just they're on this earth, and it's not just about like like some advanced civilization from another planet came to this world, and suddenly we are, whatever group encountered them is starting to worship them and becomes a cargo cult. That not only happens from like with ETs and whatnot, but that also happens like in more primitive civilizations that are like now, like when they encounter Americans.
That's true.
There is where was this? So I think there's this civilization, this tribe.
Well, in the Amazons, the Amazons, they just fight the Europeans. But in Africa, in the early days of colonization, we almost worshipped the white folks.
Yeah, like they're gods instead of like regular people.
Yeah, they're just people. But we accepted everything they had to offer because they had better technology. They had weapons that were far more advanced than the machetes and arrows and bow and arrows. And that's why they were able to force their religion and culture on the African continent. Same thing with these alien civilizations. They're forbidden, just like you were saying, forbidden from making contact. Because when they make contact, we've never seen anything like that. We're gonna start worshiping them.
Yeah.
Do you call it cargo cult?
Cargo cult.
I've never heard that before.
So if you get to a civilization where they're too early in their development, then they don't understand anything about. They don't realize that you're just regular people. You're just from a more advanced civilization. This is all just technology and more knowledge than them. That's all that is. Right. You're not a god. These aren't magical powers. But they believe that they are. And so they completely worship you. And I know that there's like a tribe, I want to say it's somewhere in Africa or maybe Australia, but there's a tribe that actually worships the United States. Like
Today?
Today.
Never heard of them.
I
They'll be sled.
Yeah, I bet we could find them online. But anyway.
They're misled.
Oh, I know, right? God.
Of engagement. They got mad at her for
engaging.
Yeah,
because that's what happened.
She altered the entire course of their civilization.
Right.
For thousands of years.
Yeah. Just like that recent adventure movie, not adventures, but they came in and the guy was feeling really guilty to introduce the technology to the people. He's like, they destroyed themselves. He was sitting in the middle of Hiroshima,
right?
And he was so sad. Like, if I didn't do this, then this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. And so these beings, if you look in the book of Enoch, now Enoch is really an incredible book. I have 3 different versions of the book of Enoch here because one is like a compendium, and the other 2 are different perspectives from 2 different people that analyze the text. And what's interesting about the book of Enoch, because we're talking about this topic, these beings came down from heaven and started engaging mankind and teaching us how to make medicine. Teaching us how to create different devices, even how to do makeup. This is
really?
And also weapons and how to fight, how to go to war.
So why would they do that if people usually have, the higher intelligence usually has prime directives of not to specifically do that. So why did some choose to come here? I'm gonna teach you everything.
They broke the prime directive. They would even say
for what intention though?
This was like the Wild Wild West to them. This planet was literally like the Wild Wild West. And so when you analyze the text, you see that they were breaking every known law that was set up for them that existed. And they even said themselves, when the creator of all finds out what we've done here, we're going to have to pay for this. So they even believed in a higher creator above them. So they knew they weren't gods.
Yeah.
That's their giveaway right there. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
And so, but they taught us about weaponry. They taught us how to make.
That is huge.
Yeah.
So these civilizations, these higher beings, more advanced beings, they came here, screwed us over, and now they know that they also have to answer to God, and they're like, shoot. Committed some egregious
when I
acts.
listen to stuff like this, it makes the Bible start making sense. Because when it talks about God as the creator of all the universe and all the beings, and there's all these different dimensions, it's hard for me to understand. Maybe it's also my fault because I haven't read deep enough or studied deep enough. But it makes sense that we're on a different dimension, and there's all these other beings on different dimensions. They're not any more better than they're not supernatural. They're not better than us or higher than us. They just are more advanced in technology. We all are creations of God.
Right.
And we all answer to God.
Exactly.
That's
we are all part of the same all. We are all.
Yeah.
It's like that one central consciousness that it's just God. But we're all we're all connected to it. We're all different specks of it.
I wonder if it's possible to travel between these different universes.
Of course. We're not
They
there
put us
yet.
how to kill each other. In more advanced ways.
Yeah.
And like I say, they really just engage mankind. This is why the book of Enoch was left out of the Bible, because it talks about aliens engaging mankind and teaching us how to kill each other and make weapons and do makeup.
That's why I couldn't read it.
Just crazy stuff, And also a lot of the medicines and healing techniques, understanding which herbs are good for you, which herbs aren't, which plants are poisonous, which plants aren't. All of that.
I always wondered, so where does that stem from? So plant medicine, for instance, where does that even stem from and how? Because a person, just a human being is not, well, maybe they did, but let me just, structure this plant in a way, I'm going to process this plant, and then I'm going to make it into a powder, and then I'm going to smoke it.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't
seem logical, logical step, right, for a person who
it seems very dangerous.
It does seem dangerous because you can eat something that will kill you right away. Well, if you look at the excuse me, the earliest account of Alalu coming to Earth, Alalu was on Nibiru and he wanted to usurp kingship, and so he wanted to battle the king. He ended up killing the king in a fight that wasn't.
I don't know if you know, but he's referring to some of these Anunnakis from other planets. So
Right.
like specific guys.
Like properly set up. He snuck and killed him. Then he had to flee. But he already had his eyes set on Earth, and a lot of them up there had their eyes set on Earth, but they were having trouble getting through the asteroid belt. The asteroid belt back then, this is a long time ago, was still kind of chaotic and causing a lot of disruption. Getting through the asteroid belt to get to the inner planets was causing a lot of ships to crash, and some never came back.
Oh, wow.
On this particular escape, he took off. They chased him when he got inside the asteroid belt. Now think about this for a second. This is ancient text, 8,000 to 10,000 year old text, and that's just a rewrite of something even